Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Stevens, and I'm talking to you again from the Carpe Diem Strategic Services Cybersecurity and Data Privacy Protection Corner. Today, I'd like to talk about data breaches. I believe it's time for individuals and companies alike to have the ability to conduct their own self assessments of their cybersecurity and data privacy protection and readiness levels. The recent hacking of the United States federal government's Office of Personnel Management is indicative of one unalienable fact. Hackers do not hack networks to steal routers. They hack them to steal your most precious commodities and assets. They include sensitive business information, for example, trade secrets, patents, trademarks, and other intellectual property, and sensitive business or personal information, personally identifiable information, electronic protected health information, and protected health information. There is a difference under HIPAA. The most recent OPM massive cyber attack has the potential unfortunate impact the livelihoods of over 4 million current and retired federal government employees. Now, it would be sad or startling if this was just the exception and not the norm, but since 2014, the United States and other countries have experienced massive data breaches that have impacted the livelihoods of average day citizens in those countries. CMS, Anthem, JP Morgan, Home Depot, PF Chang, you name it, we've been breached. So, what does that mean to you? It means that everyone is susceptible to a potential data breach at any time. It means we must develop holistic approaches to improving our cybersecurity and data privacy protection readiness levels. It means you cannot just build a bigger, more expensive information security or network security mousetrap. It requires both non technical and technical cybersecurity and data privacy protection methods to deter, prevent, or to mitigate the impacts of cyber attacks and data breaches on individuals and companies. So, what can you do? First, conduct a data inventory of the data that resides on your network and databases. Know what you have because there's a realized and unrealized cost for every bit of data. Many of these companies that have been breached had no idea what they had in their data repositories until it was too late. And they didn't know what they lost. And they still won't know what they lost for decades to come. You should develop a process for categorizing and classifying your public and sensitive data. We use this process in the intelligence community to protect our nationally sensitive information from compromise. It lets us know how to classify it, how to categorize, and how to handle it. It's time for the commercial world to adopt similar practices. You should develop and codify your cybersecurity and data privacy protection practices, policies, and standards. Make sure your employees and everyone in the workforce understands and adheres with them. And you should also have termination and sanction policies that lets them know what will happen if they violate these policies, practices, and standards. You should only grant access to your most sensitive business and sensitive personal information on those individuals on a need to know basis. You should also segregate it based on rules based controls so that no one person has access to everyone, regardless of your title or position within the company. You should require each employee with access to sensitive business and sensitive personal information to sign non-disclosure statements requiring them to protect your sensitive data. Again, you should also highlight the importance and implications of violating those policies in your termination and sanction policies. You should review your contracts with your third-party vendors and others to ensure they protect your sensitive business and sensitive personal data that you provide to them and provide them with access to at the same level required by you. I can assure you that if you experience a data breach and you don't have this information and language in your contracts, and one of your vendors is the person or entity that's breached, you are the entity that's responsible. So hold them accountable before you give them your customer data and other data. You should establish a data breach incident response team that's capable of responding quickly and effectively to any data breach. They should be exercised, they should be well trained, and they should understand your policy. They should also understand the regulatory and statutory requirements. You should ensure all of your employees receive some level of onboarding and recurrent readiness training, and situational awareness updates. They are your strongest link in your chain and also the weakness. Many employees, include your C suite level executives, are placing you and your companies at risk on a daily basis because they're falling prey to social engineering techniques such as spearfishing and phishing that provide adversaries with access to your most precious data with little or no effort. You should consider developing and implementing a data breach notification policy to ensure that your company is compliant with not only regulatory but statutory requirements. And you should review them by industry. In the case of HIPAA, they require notification based on the number of people affected within a geographic region. And it determines who you report this information to. Again, don't make a bad situation worse. Be compliant. Now, we also want to emphasize the importance of conducting periodic cybersecurity and data privacy protection assessments, evaluations, and exercises to ensure your workforce and your companies are compliant with the current and your current cybersecurity and data privacy protection practices, policies, and standards, and those required by your regulatory and statutory bodies. Now, my partner and I, need your help in developing our cybersecurity and data privacy protection mobile applications for iOS and Android mobile devices. We also need your help to develop a complementary responsive website that will link to those applications and allow you to have greater maneuverability of your data. We believe these applications will aid you in assessing your levels of cybersecurity and data privacy protection readiness. In the immortal words of Jerry Maguire, let us help you help you assess your cybersecurity and data privacy protection readiness levels. Let us help you identify those cyber risks, threats, and vulnerabilities that are placing you and your companies at greater financial, legal, operational, and reputational risk. Once you lose a customer because of a data breach, you'll never get that person back. Now, we cannot guarantee you with 100% certainty that you will not experience a future data breach, data compromise, data leakage, or data loss if you help us and you use our application. But we can assist you in soaking our applications and identifying potential methods that might mitigate the impact of those risks that I stated, threats and vulnerabilities to you, your customers, and your bottom lines. This is Chris Stevens from the CDSS Cybersecurity and Data Privacy Protection Corner, and I hope you have a great day.